Meta AI is the personal AI that's tailored to you, now with its very own app. It's built to get to know you, offering helpful answers and inspiration. Looking for something to add to your bucket list? Meta AI goes beyond traveling the world. It remembers you're a basketball fanatic and suggests you attend one of the playoff games. Just start typing or speaking to get the answers you need, wherever and whenever, because Meta AI is your personal AI. Download the Meta AI app, now available on the Apple App Store and Google Play.
A bunch of us at the station, the radio station, were talking about our favorite personalities. And mine, we've had a lot that we love and have on the air when we can. But one of my most favorites is Bryan Cranston. I am a fan, as you'll hear. And I think if you're not already, you will be after you meet him via the magic of radio. So Bryan Cranston, straight ahead.
The First Lady of New York Radio, Joan Hamburg. Entertaining and informative. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Welcome, everyone, to the Joan Hamburg Show. And a special treat. I'm not going to say for you, even though it's for you, but it's really for me, because I'm the biggest Bryan Cranston fan. I know I used to make fun of people who were fans, but I'm a fan. And I really, really like Bryan's series, Your Honor, which I think everyone likes. It's fantastic. And we all love Breaking Bad. Malcolm in the Middle, I could go over credit after credit. Your Honor is just winding up the second season, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot more seasons. It started a couple of years ago, and then it became a miniseries, and it's doing just great. So, Bryan, I'm so happy to see you.
It's good to see you too, Joan.
We talked when that series first reared its head, you know,
like the beast that it is.
But it just sort of hit a nerve.
Yeah. Well, the thing that really got me interested in playing it was, as a father myself, the question was posed to me, what would you do to save the life of your child? And the answer is, I would do anything. And then the next question was, would you knowingly become a criminal if you thought by doing so it would save the life of your child? And once again, the answer is yes, I would. And then that's what my character was faced with, the impulsive decision-making of protecting your child by telling a lie and covering up. But we know that one lie begats another, and pretty soon you're a liar. And you've lost your sense of self, your principles, what you stand for and your morality. And
explain whom the father was. It wasn't like he was just a garden snake kind of daddy.
Yeah.
Which most of us fit into that kind of category. But he was a different father. He was a very renowned judge.
Yeah.
And people looked to him for justice and the right things. So his world falls apart in just a bit.
It was really interesting to have a character whose occupation and passion was seeking justice, determining right from wrong. And here he is himself going from right to wrong and doing so for the right reasons. But is it ever really justified to do that? And the first season ended in tragedy. And so I wanted to explore the second season in an authentic way and have that journey include despair and grief and redemption. And is that possible after such tragedy? And the other thing was, I think our society was lacking in empathy towards people and coming out of the pandemic, and we're disconnected from each other. And I wanted to see what it was like to have forgiveness be at the core of our theme. not only in asking forgiveness, but in granting forgiveness to others.
And did you find what you were looking for?
Yeah. Showtime was very supportive and said, "This sounds great. Go, go ahead."
Right. And as an audience person, it was amazing, but I really felt nervous when I started watching the second season.
Oh, you did?
What could happen here?
Yeah.
You know, I was the kid who read the last page first of the book to make sure it had a happy ending.
Yeah.
And you really couldn't call it
No.
until you got into it.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly you became that kind of parent.
Yeah.
And you're constantly questioning yourself. Did he do right? Is he going to do right? What am I going to do?
What would I do in
Yeah,
that place if I were in that position? Yeah, it's easy to answer those first couple of questions. I would do anything to protect my child. But then the third question was, would you continue along that line if it hurt or killed innocent people? And all of a sudden, that assuredness breaks down into doubt.
Right. And what are you doing that's the best for your kid?
Yeah.
Because the best for most of us is to protect them,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Right.
But that always can't be the case. Did your kids concur with the conclusion, or did they have strong feelings about?
Well, I only have one daughter. She just turned 30.
An actress?
Yes, an actress, Taylor. And she's very bright and extremely talented, and thank God for that. We had talked about it, but not in a way of a critique, in the sense of I think it's an honest, authentic structure to start a series with, and my character spirals down in that first season, and in the second season, it's an attempt to see if there is an upward spiral. Can someone recover from such a tragedy and find his or her way back to some sort of life after grief?
Yeah, well, that's a very complicated question.
Yeah.
And now, of course, we have to have a third season.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm not sure if that's in the cards, really.
It should be in the cards, though, because you know how I always do that. Like, what happens now?
Yeah.
You're going to lead us up to this and then take off? And where is my ending that I want? And what happens to this guy?
Well, I think you may be feeling some satisfaction at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
It's something that we designed from the beginning. We wanted to make it different from the ending of season 1 and come to some kind of completion. And whether or not we're able to then reopen that and progress into a third season, it still remains to be seen.
Would you like that?
I would like it if there is a legitimate reason to do so. If I am presented or come up with a dynamic idea that I have a reaction of, oh my God, that's fantastic. We should do that. Let's dive in. And that has not presented itself. There's still plenty of time. But if that presents itself where I get excited about a specific story, then I could see myself doing a third season. But if not, then I'm okay with not.
Right, on to the next.
Yeah.
But the audience, I can tell you, we would like another season. No, really. I'm invested now
Well, thank you.
in the characters.
Thank you,
I
Joan.
don't want them to go off. I don't know what they're going to do, and I feel nervous about it,
Yeah.
which is what a good show should
It should.
make you have feelings
Yes.
like that. But I feel like you can't leave us. I mean, we have to know
Well,
what's going to happen.
it does end in a way that gives
Room.
room, but also satisfaction of some completion, some feeling of a full circle.
And how do you feel personally when you have to, or you think you have to let your character go?
I don't feel bad. I've been doing this for 44 years now. So I'm used to saying goodbye to characters. It's not something that I white knuckle and try not
Right,
to.
you can let them go.
I can let it go, yeah.
And go on to the next.
And go on to the next.
And do you think when you're invested in these characters about the next, or you're content to be in the moment?
That's the goal, is to stay in the moment, be in that moment, and embrace it. And then when it's done, then you can look forward to something else. But I think I can't get too far ahead of myself. Of course, I'm still reading scripts and things that of ideas, whether it's in theater or television or movies, to consider. Yeah.
Yeah, and is that a complicated thing, or you feel that's part of this whole process?
I enjoy it. I think the one thing that I really worked at, and it's to be able to identify well-written material. Because if you find a play or a movie script and it's well-written, it has a chance to be good. If it is not well-written, it has no chance to be good. That's just my philosophy on it. So I look for that.
It's interesting because I raised that question in a writers group recently. Is just having something well written enough? Or if you're reading out loud and it comes across better than when you're reading to yourself, what does that really mean in terms of the script? Is there any validity to that?
Yeah, because sometimes if it's just in your head, it's maybe not fully formed. But when you speak it out loud, you hear it, and it could strike a different tone, a different sensibility. There's merit to that, but having a well-written script isn't enough, because we live in a collaborative world where there are so many moving parts that come into play, and at any given point, you're only there's a chain, and you're only as strong as your weakest link, really.
Hank's the family fixer, always with his tool belt. But living with prostate cancer, he needed help. He asked his doctor about Xtandi and enzalutamide. Xtandi 40 milligram tablets treats men with prostate cancer that has spread to other parts of the body and responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. Talk to your doctor and visit Xtandi.com.
Your burger is served, and this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
And you do it all, theater and television and movies. So I went to a popular movie the other day in Manhattan, and there were like 4 of us in the whole theater. And it was so sad. I know that sounds crazy, but I felt, what is happening here? 4 people in a great big theater on 60th Street, in the middle of Manhattan. Usually there are lines wait. And we're seeing this a lot with this industry.
Yeah. I think what's happened is that you have the advent of technology improving exponentially, so that the viewing of it is you cannot get better than top of the line, crystal clear televisions that are huge now, comparatively the same size as a movie screen would be in your living room. The sound is fantastic. You can also, you know what? I want to get a drink, or I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to pause it for a second. Yeah. So to compete with that is really hard for movie theaters to do. Now, is the experience the same? No. I think that collective experience sitting in a movie theater is so great.
And if you are in a comedy, whatever that means today,
Yeah.
you can't be alone in your living room or a theater, because laughter is collaborative.
It is.
When someone laughs, you laugh.
You do.
You can't help it.
It's also permissive. So by hearing other people laugh, you don't feel restricted in laughing yourself, and so you can just let go. It's infectious.
Yeah, without question. Yeah. Do you have a favorite discipline, like doing everything you do and all of it is work, from Broadway, which I love watching you work, to television, to your series, to everything, and you write and you direct and you produce?
I still love to act, so that is my primary romance. And whether that's on Broadway or in a film, it's much harder to be in a Broadway show, in a play, than it is to do a movie. Because if it's well written, every single performance includes deeply emotional content that requires you to fully engage, and you get exhausted after that. You 8 performances a week.
It's tough.
And it's very hard to come back. In the movie business, I call it the bits and pieces business. We do little bits, little pieces every day, and then afterward it's like putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and it comes together. But any one given piece is not that taxing usually.
So these days, beside the series, which I personally hope we're going to see a third, but you guys don't know that yet, right?
No. Showtime and is possibly interested in doing a third season.
Yeah, they should be.
But to their credit as well, they want to know that there's something dynamic to say. It's not just filling time and giving jobs. I want to know that there's something important to discover, and a journey that will be interesting for the audience as well as for me.
Well, I think you have it. You don't have to go too far. I mean, we're all waiting to see. Anyone who's a parent has a vested interest in this show.
I think so.
And in what goes on in the head of a parent, especially an incredibly moral.
Yeah. What was so great about the second season of Your Honor is the Showtime allowed us to really uncover in an authentic way what would happen to a parent should that ultimate tragedy occur in your life of losing a child. And you cannot be the same. I did not want to do the show if they insisted that my character get his mojo back after the first episode, and here he goes, he's crusading again. No, I wanted to explore the real feelings of what it would be like. And there are people out there, unfortunately, who have suffered this. And how did they come back? What semblance of a life did they form after tragedy? And I wanted to take those baby steps to really feel what it would be like to live with that. And what kind of life do you have going forward?
Right. Can you really function?
Yeah.
And feel? I've wondered, in face of terrible loss or tragedy, can you really feel joy again? Or is it tempered with something?
I think I think it's not mutually exclusive. I think you can feel joy, and you will always be forever changed by a tragic moment like that. We start exploring that. For example, my character discovers that he has a grandson, and at first, it was very carefully done. My character, I didn't want him to embrace the grandson. I wanted him to push away from that because of what he was responsible for in bringing tragedy into his life.
Exactly.
And so he was nervous about this innocent coming into his life. Yeah. And then it starts to slowly turn. And by the end of episode 8, I believe, he's feeding the grandson and finding moments to reconnect to humanity and some moments of joy in his life.
Which is good.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yeah.
Do you feel optimistic about your industry in terms of the film industry?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that the question all the time, pick up the trade papers and is there a future? Is there not?
Oh, I think the one common denominator that human beings have is that being told a story is innately human. Whether you're 2 or 92, you want to be told a story.
Always.
And to be able to be a part of the storytelling community is the joy of my life and professionally.
Well, it's the joy of our lives, too.
Thank you.
Any theater in the future?
Yes, I will always come back to theater, as exhausting as it is.
Yeah, right.
It's also very addictive, and it brings you immediate joy and then postpartum exhaustion. So
Yeah, but when it's over.
yes. But yes, there is. I'm in discussions right now with a possible revival of something that may come. I don't know if it can come as early as next year, but soon, I hope.
Well, next year seems soon.
And yet so far away.
But you look up and there it is.
Yeah.
And we could use it.
Yes. And this would be, it's something that I've wanted to do for a long, long time. It's a classic musical. And I'm not going to reveal what that is just yet.
Well,
but,
we'll have to hear that.
Yes.
And now I'm thinking, what classic musicals?
I'll keep you guessing, Joe.
Okay, couldn't be Oklahoma.
No, Oklahoma.
We've been there.
Yeah, Oklahoma came back with a revival and did wonderfully well.
Yeah, because we love those shows.
Yeah.
We want to come out and hum and sing.
Yes.
And we don't do that enough.
No, I know.
It's happy. I mean, the theater, there's a lot of theater now coming in, but a lot of it is dark.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go and say, no, give us a break.
Yeah.
You know, dark is okay, but I want to feel happy.
Well, this revival would make you feel happy.
All right.
Yes.
Does it make you feel good?
It does, and I'm with great anticipation, and I have a specific idea of how I want to mount it, and so I've been given the blessing from the estates, and so we're going to embrace the culture of it and the intent of the original production back in the 50s. I'm giving you hints.
You're giving me a lot of hints. Now we're all guessing in the control room. They're thinking they're too young to be.
They weren't even born when this was
they weren't
happening.
born in the. That's right. We were doing a lot of different things. I've got to give some time to think about that.
Okay.
But I like surprises.
Well, I will definitely come back and talk to you in detail about it.
I'm excited, but don't wait for a whole year.
Well, I want to do it right. It has to be done right, and some things will take time.
Yeah. Well, January isn't that far away.
That's
if
not
we're
that
talking
far.
about that.
Yeah.
Do you like living here rather than L.A.?
I enjoy both. Quite frankly, living in New York in spring and fall is some of the best times I've ever had. I first moved to New York 40 years ago to do a soap opera. And I'm reminded of that from people I talk to and who I've known all that time in New York. And I love it. I love New York. And so I come back and forth. But if I had my druthers, I wouldn't really want to spend too much of a winter here anymore.
No.
Yeah.
It's even though we were fairly warm.
Very warm this winter, yeah.
Yeah, but still, the city is constantly changing. I went to South Street the other day.
Uh-huh.
I didn't recognize South Street.
Yeah.
You know, it's all gussied up and a very glamorous marketplace.
Yeah.
With food from all over the world.
Yeah.
And tourists packed in there. So
Yeah.
I like the changing face. And yet I like to go to neighborhoods in the Bronx that are still there.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
where family restaurants are
Yeah.
still serving big Sunday lunch.
Love that.
I know, but we love our city.
Yeah. You do. You fall in love with it. It's got its, it's like a family member. You embrace it for all that it is, faults and all, warts and all.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's like,
And for all that it gives us
Yes.
and the opportunities.
yeah.
Do you think, I get this all the time from kids coming here from other places. They always, how do I do it? What do I do? Is there a chance here? Can you still get discovered
Sure.
in a city like New York? And if not in New York, where else?
When you first come to New York, if you're not a native, it seems so daunting. It's massive,
Right.
and everyone's moving quickly, and you feel like you're going to get run over, and the buildings are like towering monsters. But the more you commit to being here and just stick-to-itiveness and work, the city gets smaller and more manageable.
That's right.
You know your way around. You start figuring out how you adapt to it, and it gets smaller.
And you feel like you know everyone on
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah.
You know, I had my granddaughter here about 8 months ago, and we were walking on Fifth Avenue, and I bumped into a couple of people, and she was, how do you know those people? To her, it was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
This great big city
Yeah.
that says hello a lot.
It does. It does. And you know what I also love about New York is that for any reason at all, they'll close a street and have a street fair. They'll have a parade. They'll put up bandstands and have music, live music. And it's inconvenient, and yet it's necessary to embrace that kind of culture and the way of life for New Yorkers. I love it.
Hey guys, finding the perfect gift for the food lover in your life is easy, thanks to Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships America's most iconic foods, straight from world-famous restaurants right to your door. So if you want to treat someone to Joe's Stone Crab from Miami, Franklin Barbecue from Texas, or desserts from famous foodies like Ina Garten or Martha Stewart, Goldbelly has you covered, with free shipping anywhere in the country. Just go to goldbelly.com and for a limited time, get 20% off your first order with promo code GIFT. That's promo code GIFT.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, and MLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Imagine this. The best pasta sauce you have ever tasted sits abandoned on a plate. Wasted sauce. That is a tragedy. If only you had used Barilla al Bronzo pasta. Its bronze-cut texture holds your sauce and scoops up every last drop. The Italians call that scarpetta. Capture sauce the Italian way. Barilla al Bronzo. Click or tap the banner to find out more.
Choice Hotels gets you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like with the road trippers we see here in their natural habitat, the breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. Here's a dad teaching his son how to make waffles. Fluffy, golden waffles. There's a mom making sure her daughter eats some fruit to avoid the "I'm hungry" from the back seat. And a sibling standoff over the last muffin. This is the cycle of vacation maximizationing in all its glory. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
And to go even during a marathon or a race and get so excited. And then I think, I don't know who these people are. Why am I sitting here yelling, "Go, Jimmy"?
Who's Jimmy?
It's New York.
That's right.
And it belongs to us, too.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, when I go to visit family in L.A.,
Yeah.
I can't find that.
You can't.
Now, I'm sure
no.
you do because you've had a lot of life there.
Yeah. I was born and raised out in L.A., so it has its own advantages and disadvantages. So you just have to seek out what feeds you, what serves you, what feeds your soul. Keep moving.
And you know that.
Yeah. And, I get also going back from Los Angeles to New York, what I miss more than anything is nature, to be able to go out and see trees and water and those things. And so you've got to get away from the concrete jungle at times.
You do. And it's important that we have that breath in between so we can appreciate it. And we can't be too hard on our city.
No.
And it's easy to take out whatever on it, but we can't do that because it makes everything possible too.
I look at New York, and when I first gave an assessment of it after moving here was, this is controlled chaos. It seems chaotic, but yet there is control to it. There is management to how Manhattan works, especially.
Yeah. Well, I love that we could pass you on the street and someone will say, "Look, there's Bryan Cranston."
Yeah.
But they won't necessarily bother you.
No, I know. That's it. That's the New Yorker way.
Yeah.
I get an up nod from it. It's like, hey, I see you. I recognize you. Yeah.
And do you still get a kick out of that?
I do. I don't seek it out really, but I do like to talk to people and about how the projects that I've chosen affected them, moved them, made them laugh, helped bond them with a parent or a child or something like that. It's very rewarding in that.
Well, we're so happy to have you here.
Thanks, Joan.
And whether it's television, movies, theater, you're doing it all.
Thank you.
Are you writing too?
I'm writing. I'm writing right now, co-writing the sequel to a movie called The Upside that I did with Kevin Hart and Nicole Kidman. And so I'm co-writing that, and we hope to be shooting that later this summer.
And where do you shoot it?
It'll be somewhere on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, I'd love to be able to shoot in New York. It'd be great.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Summer. Maybe you go out to Montauk or someplace. Wouldn't that be nice?
I like it.
Rent a big old house.
I like the way you think, Joan. You're my kind of gal.
We're practical. If there's an ocean and there's sun, why not use it?
Why not use it?
It's important.
Yep.
Bryan, thank you.
Thank you, John.
I love that you took the time to come in during a so-called snowstorm here in New York.
Yeah.
I know. Look at it. It's
a
stopped
flurry
already.
Yeah,
they made
nothing.
it such a tragedy.
Yeah, we're good. I love talking with you, and I will always come in and have a chat.
I'm excited. But when the new project is about...
Yes, I will definitely come in and we'll talk in more detail about it.
Yeah, because I want to hear all about it and what it takes.
Yes.
And what it takes when you're in rehearsal for a new Broadway show.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that sort of worries about even strangers. So there was a time when I had to deal with something and I was going to the rehearsal studio and I could feel the anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And so you worry about all these performers.
Yeah.
And we need it to happen for them.
Yeah. Yes, I'll come back in and we'll talk in more detail about what it takes to put together a Broadway show.
It's a deal,
Yeah,
right?
let's do it.
But pleasure. All right, that will be our next conversation. Thank you, Bryan.
Thank you, Joan.
Good luck to the family.
Thank you.
And we'll see each other soon. I'm Joan Hamburg, and you're listening to your favorite WABC. More to come.
Guess I got what I deserve. Kept you waiting there too long, my love. special love I had for you. Baby blue. All the days became so long.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.